Hello class, welcome to Art History 102. My name is Diana and I'm going to be Professor Bear's substitute for the day. So from what I've been told, you guys have been discussing 17th and 18th century France. You all talked about the style of Rococo that marked the ending of the Baroque movement. We saw that Rococo reflects the leisure time of the rich in Frogodin's painting of the swing. In Rococo style, we see playfulness and softer colors, which rose as a rejection against the rigidity of court life. So with that all said, let's take a look at this painting called Soap Bubbles, which was done by Jean-Simon Chardin in 1734. This was an oil on canvas, and when we first take a glance at it with our 21st century minds, we see two boys and one of which who is blowing a bubble with what looks to be a straw. When I first saw this painting, I was drawn into the lightness of the boy's forehead and then to the highlights of the bubble. By picturing this leisure time, it gave me the impression of Rococo right away, and Chardin was known for painting youthful activities like playing cards or anything like that, and he actually did 3 versions of this painting. However, this painting was much larger than the regular diminutive style of Rococo. By painting these figures at a larger style, I think Chardin wanted to give the impression that the audience themselves could encounter a scene like this. So before we dive into this painting, as Professor Beer has asked you guys to do throughout this course, let's put on our 18th century thinking caps on so we could really dive in and see what's going on. So I'm sure everyone here has blown a bubble or two in their lifetime, which is usually a really amusing activity. However, here we see two boys who are intensely concentrating on this bubble. Instead of capturing a scene which is usually playful and lighthearted, Chardin emits an energy which is serious and intense. By doing this, Chardin is making what should be an entertaining pastime into a job that requires much attention. In this way, Chardin is absorbing the audience in the painting in the way that these boys are absorbed in the bubble. The viewer can also be drawn in because of the lighting. When you first look at it, you see the lightest points of the picture are the forehead and hands of the boy in the front, and also the highlights of the bubble and the soap water. These, all of which are necessary to create this bubble, so he wants to put an extremely important emphasis on these aspects. These aspects can also be given greater attention because of the darker background, which gives us a chiaroscuro style feel. By contrasting this light and dark, it adds value to the seemingly normal hobby and adds an even greater importance on youthful activity. So let's take a look at this blow-up of the boy's forehead. We can notice how light it is, but also how thickly it is painting. And this is probably Chardin's way of showing the importance of the mind. And this was cool because this is before the Age of Reason, which was all about the human mind and intelligence. Also, Chardin probably does this to promote youthful action and the importance of being a kid, which greatly resembles Rococo style. So let's talk about this ever so important bubble. For us, it's just a plain old bubble, but an 18th century viewer, they would know that a bubble represents the transience of life. Now, transience basically means only lasting for a short period of time, so it basically means how life only lasts for a short period of time. This can reinforce the theme of vanitas, where it says that things in life are fleeting and will soon come to an end. By painting something that will inevitably be destroyed gives this impermanent object a permanent place that has now lasted for over 280 years. This was Chardin's way of demonstrating that such transiency is a fundamental component of life's meaning by introducing such juxtapositions. We can also see this theme through the placement of the bubble, which is no accident. Through this translucent bubble, we see the stone ledge, which is the most permanent piece in this painting. So by combining something that is fragile and something that is strong, reinforces his contradictions of impermanence and permanence. Chardin also places this bubble, which is the lightest object, at the lowest point of the painting. And by doing this, Chardin is adding weight and importance on one's fleeting youth and how it is significant in one's life. So I've attached 2 blow-ups from this scene that reinforce Chardin's theme. We can see, if we look at the boy's shirt, that it is ripped. And we can also see a crack in the stone ledge that is next to the bubble, and these were no accident. These cleverly placed bursts are foreshadowing this bubble's destruction, which is further foreshadowing one's youth that will eventually come to an end. Soap Bubbles is quite an incredible piece that places great emphasis that the fleetingness of adolescence provides an infrastructure for life's meaning. I feel that Chardin uses painting to urge his audience to stay in the moment and to understand that although moments are fleeting, you must stay present just like these two boys are. Chardin most likely wants his viewers to understand that life's transiency does not negate, but only enhances the significance of life. Throughout the colors, light, composition, and symbols in this great painting, he provokes us as a viewer to reflect on life and its transience, while also allowing his expression of it to shine through. What do you guys think? With all of this said, we must understand that art, simple or complex, has some sort of meaning, whether small or large. So with the knowledge gained throughout this course, I urge you to see that while it may not be evident at first, everything in this world has meaning beyond what we ever imagined. I mean, who would have thought a bubble could pack in so much meaning? So a big thank you to Professor Beresdew for allowing us to see art in a different light and for giving it a greater meaning than our 21st century minds ever thought was possible.